On this edition of One Championship Weekly, it's going to be an epic night of martial arts in Manila, Philippines on the 20th of April. In the main event, two former bantamweight world title challengers, Kevin Bilingon and Andrew Leone, go head-to-head. And one Super Series makes its anticipated debut to showcase the best strikers in the world. You're watching One Championship Weekly. Former one bantamweight world title challenger Kevin Bilingon is eyeing another title shot. Victory against grappling specialist Andrew Leone in Manila will help move Bilingon closer to a world championship opportunity. The Team Lakay star is most known for his striking prowess. Here's Bilingon outstriking Muin Gafurov at every turn. We join this bout in the second round.
Kevin Bilingon, Muin Gafurov, getting set to start the 6th minute of this exciting contest.
A bit of good sportsmanship as they touch gloves for the second round. Both back in the center of the cage. The feeling out process should have ended by now. They're going to start throwing their hands a lot more often. Muin Gafurov throwing in some strong strikes from his hands early on. Let's see if Kevin Bilingon replies with those nasty little inside leg kicks.
Now they understand the distance, now they understand the timing. Do you think they're gonna shift it into a different gear and start to put a little bit of pressure on each other?
They're gonna go second gear, third gear. They're gonna push the pace. They're gonna start throwing out more strikes more consistently and in higher ratios. So it's, you know, this is the fight, the round of the fight to watch out for some explosive action. I think they're getting closer, they're closing the distance every single half second, and you know, Olivier's calling for action and they really want to go for it, but there's something just physically and mentally blocking them, I think.
And, you know, you can get a little bit gun shy. You can get that anticipation where you get almost paralyzed by over-analysis and you just can't quite pull the trigger. But I mean, you can see it from the race car driver Peter Davis telling him it's time to shift gears and get this thing going.
Indeed. Oh, here we go. As soon as they close that distance, sparks fly. It's fantastic. But right now they're a bit too, they have a lot of respect for each other's striking, and I just think that neither of them wants to eat a punch from the other one. Just now there was a big exchange, hands flying. I think Kevin Bilingon again throwing more strikes out, and he's testing the water again. Muin Gafurov throwing a left, getting countered by Kevin Bilingon's left hook, and inside leg kick again from Kevin Bilingon.
That seems to be the most significant strike of this fight, is that inside leg kick thrown by Kevin. It seems to be landing very effectively, and there's the outside leg kick again. So that has to be slowing down Gafurov.
I mean, like I said earlier, we probably can't see the welts right now, but Muin Gafurov probably has a pretty red leg underneath those shorts. Kevin Bilingon trying some new stuff. He's trying to distract his opponent and you know, get him on a different path. Try something new in order to be able to strike somewhere that he wants to. So he's trying to get the eyes up and strike down low.
It's working.
It is working. He's being twitchy. He's doing more of those inside leg kicks. Bilingon is by far and away ahead on strikes and damage in this fight so far. These guys are shying away from punching. As I say that, Muin Gafurov goes in for a takedown. He just ducks in, but Kevin Bilingon has double underhooks against the cage, throws that punch and a nasty elbow on the way out, and they're back in the center of the cage. I think this is going to be that outside leg kick, solid, sounded solid too. Head kick just misses. Kevin Bilingon is doing a lot of the work in this fight.
Do you think Gafurov needs to change up his game plan? Is he getting locked into a specific game plan and not able to adapt?
He's stuck on his tracks, and you know, it's the same thing. Like if you say a name 1,000 times, you try and say it that 1,001th time differently, you just can't. He is stuck in his tracks. He's got the same game plan. He hasn't been able to shift up his game plan at all during this round. And Kevin Bilingon is at least trying different things, trying to break down the distance by, you know, throwing distractions out. And I definitely have this fight going to Bilingon with the striking right now and damage.
This is a massive event, and Olivier wants a little bit more from both these fighters, but it's easier said than done. Like you were saying, Peter, it's tough to change things up and start to pull it off because this is the biggest event in all of Myanmar's history in
the crowd is going wild. They want to see some action here. I mean, here we go. Just every time I say that, a big head kick there from Kevin Bellingham. Muin Gofurov shooting in for a takedown, getting stopped and outstruck. Left hooks flying in left and right. Okay, underhook on the left arm of Kevin Bellingham, but someone's received a cut. No?
Bellingham lost his mouthpiece in that exchange.
His mouthpiece. Sorry, I was too excited about the punches there to notice that.
We got 25 seconds left in this second round, but when there is action, wow, is it fast!
It is crazy action. Rolling in for a takedown there.
That's it! That's what Gofurov needed to do. Change things up, and now he scores with a takedown. Now he's in side control, but a little too late as he passes into mount. Full mount now. He's got less than 5 seconds to go as he starts to drop bombs on Kevin. Oh, saved by the bell!
Wow, what a change up at the end of the round there. Kevin was quite comfortable. I think he was just weathering that storm a little bit. We still have a third round left to go. Things could really shift up to gear number 3, and let's hope they do.
Ready? Olivier Coste says, let's get it on as they touch gloves, and we start the third round of this bantamweight war.
They're getting a bit closer this time. I think they're getting a bit closer. They're not going to be so gun-shy, I hope. I hope they're going to be able to close the distance. They're doing the same thing again. They're back stuck in their tracks. But maybe it's the start of every round this will happen. And, you know, they warm up as the round goes on. Maybe that's what's happening with these two fighters. And as a fighter, every single fighter you face, you have a different strategy or a different feel. If you're up against a Muay Thai guy, they may be pushing forwards all the time, causing you, if you're a counter striker, to react and to strike back. But these two are both standing off. Maybe they're both counter strikers, but neither of them are pushing forwards enough to spark the other one's interest.
But with the ease that Gofurov was able to take Bellingham down, pass his guard, and end up in mount, you think that would be the first thing on his mind as we just lost 60 seconds of round 3.
Indeed, you know, he needs to do the same thing again. If he could just start walking forward, push the fight to the cage and get a takedown against the cage, that would be fantastic. But he appears to want to strike in the center of the cage, and that's where Kevin Bellingham is having a lot of success in this fight.
Yeah, I spoke to Muin Gofurov's coaches, and he says he just doesn't follow the game plan because he gets so one-tracked into his focus, and he just wants to stand and bang with people, and he loses sight of the overall strategy, and that looks to be what's happening now, because if he could slide in for another one of these takedowns, he could end the fight here quickly, but he's choosing to go at Kevin's strength, which is the stand-up.
I know, and you know, that's not what he wants to do. He has to set up and go in for a takedown. The crowd here is reacting to these two fighters standing in the middle of the cage, not throwing any strikes out. Kevin Bellingham trying to get that inside leg kick again. I mean, you know, we want to see more action from this for sure, but I mean, Kevin Bellingham, it looks like he's doing damage to that left leg of Tajik.
Yeah, this crowd is, look at this, sold out to Wana Stadium. It is absolutely packed here in Myanmar, and they are just on the edge of their seat. Beautiful inside leg kick. That has been, got to be like the 15th time he's landed that shot, Peter.
It must be at least. Kevin Bellingham is getting rushed. It looks like he's going for a Darce choke. He's not got quite enough of his arm in there. Kevin Bellingham throwing strikes, elbowing out of that clinch position there. And they're back in the center of the cage, throwing the inside leg again. Muin Gofurov has to go in and shoot for a takedown. He has to set that up and do that. You know, he's really got to change things up if he wants to win this fight. He only has just over 2 minutes to do that. And if he doesn't, I believe he might have lost this fight.
His coaches are just screaming at him to shoot him for the takedown and push forward, but it's almost like he's got tunnel vision and he wants to stand and strike, and Kevin Bellingham is following the strategy perfectly.
He is indeed, and maybe Muin Gofurov is, you know, he's just, he's a little bit scared to go in. He's felt a bit of the leather already. He knows that inside leg kick is causing damage. Muin is having a little bit of trouble moving forwards. And you know, you see he went in for the takedown, but he ducked from a very far distance. He didn't change level. Maybe his leg hurts too much to be able to do that, and then shoot in. And then Kevin Bellingham again gets his head on the back of the chest, and that's what we've seen several times.
Good defense by Kevin Belagon. Now we're starting to see why Team Lakai is on a massive 15-fight win streak. It is just so impressive the way that they formulate their strategy. We got 1 minute left, Peter, but as you well know, 1 minute in the one championship cage is a long time.
It is a huge amount of time. It is an absolute eternity. I think, however, unless Muin Gafurov gets a knockout or a flash submission, if he can do the same takedown he just did, get Kevin Bellingon's head under his chest, maybe he can go for like a double-handed, like sort of a guillotine. If he could just do that same thing again, if maybe he has that move in his artillery, it would be fantastic. But otherwise, Kevin Bellingon is going to increase Team Lakai's win streak by 1.
The crowd is igniting on fire here. They are cheering to see more action from these two explosive bantamweights, and they look just as fresh as they did in the final minute as they do in the first.
Hey, they do indeed. Kevin Bellingon just shying away from a spinning back fist there. That inside leg kick, body shots, oh my goodness, you can still hear it from here. It's not like these two are not working hard, but there is the end of round 3.
We turn now to our judges' scorecards, and all 3 judges have scored in favor for your winner by unanimous decision. From the blue corner, Kevin Bellingon.
There you have it, the silencer extending the win streak of the famed Team Lakai.
Former one featherweight world champion Murat Gafurov squares off with Emilio Urrutia in Manila on the 20th of April. The Russian is a submission specialist and is an expert at finishing with the rear naked choke. Here's Gafurov tapping out veteran Japanese athlete Kazunori Yokota. We join this bout in the second round.
Sees Gafurov slightly ahead. The submission specialist against the submission defense specialist.
Fight!
Smile from both men as they touch gloves at the start of the second round. We're at the Impact Arena. This is one championship, Kingdom of Champions. The first time a major mixed martial arts event has taken place in the land of smiles, Bangkok, Thailand.
And both these fighters are showing a big grin across their face as we start this second round. Nice connection there, nice little combo by Yokota.
Gafurov grins back at him. Plenty of respect here, and these two will enjoy this contest. Both great fighting men. You can see they're both loving it. Look at Yokota's grin. A little bit of showboating there, showing him the right hand.
Yokota's been throwing a lot of that rear push kick. He likes to set up, chamber the knee into his chest, and really just stomp his opponents almost. And then he follows it up with a nice little Superman punch, which sets up quite nicely. Hasn't really connected a lot on big strikes, but he seems a little bit more relaxed and maybe have a slight advantage when it comes to the stand-up game.
Yokota gets in and out quickly. That's been his specialty in the stand-up. So he looks for a single punch. He just leapt in with a left hook here earlier on. Gafurov just leant out of range.
We're also seeing a big arsenal of kicks coming from Gafurov. He's really going after the head here with a new sort of toolbox in these head kicks that he's attempting.
Crazy how much these two are enjoying it. The occasional glove touch, show of respect. Oh, that was not a show of respect.
You can just hear the thud when it landed on the side of his head.
There's nothing touchy about that, and that was a rock-hard left jab from Yokota.
It's like a fencer as he just jumps in, hits, connects, and then pops right back out.
And he's showing him that right hand again, isn't he? He just shakes it in the air occasionally, saying, watch out for this, it's coming. Gafurov leaps in. There was a moment when Yokota turned his back and Gafurov just jumped on that, quite literally. And they grin again at each other.
A lot of respect shown by both these fighters here in Bangkok. And Gafurov answers with a push kick of his own.
Good, solid, stiff jab from Yokota. Have you seen a fight where both consistently smile at each other like this in a while, Rich?
When there's this much respect between two fighters and you've experienced this, you know, you just can't help but, you know, respect them regardless of what's happened in the past or the words that have been said. There's so much sportsmanship in mixed martial arts, which makes it so special because they are true martial artists. And you know, both these guys, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, they are real martial artists. And the integrity and the discipline and the self-respect that they have, it shows.
When you consider the base that these two have, the amount of striking that they're happy to exhibit tonight, perhaps a little bit of a surprise.
You know, but they're also throwing a unique variety of strikes. You know, they're not just throwing the 1-2 punch. You know, they're attempting the flying attacks, the spinning attacks, these big head kicks. Oh, nice transition into a takedown, and he secures side control. Oh, easily passes into mount. The world champion is on top now, and again, Yokota gives up his back.
Landed well to the side of the head. When he's aiming for that head in this position, he must connect with the ear at least if the punches are going towards the back of the head. If you don't make contact with that ear, then it's considered an illegal back of the head blow, and he will be warned for that if the referee thinks he's doing it intentionally.
Interesting, very innovative. He got his leg loose from having his hook into the side and delivered a knee. He's got a couple seconds. He's got 30 seconds.
Oh, he's tapped out. It was very, very fast indeed, but the arm got under the chin and around the throat, and without any hesitation.
For your winner, by way of submission, and still one featherweight world champion from the red corner is
In the One Super Series Muay Thai contest, four-time Lumpini world champion Nongo Gayang Hadao takes on Raja Damnern Stadium world champion Fabio Pinca. This epic clash between two of the best Muay Thai athletes in the world promises to bring the house down in Manila.
Nongo versus Fabio Pinca. This is a Muay Thai match of mega proportions. Nongo, one of the greatest Muay Thai combatants of all time.
Not only did he win world championships in 5 different divisions, but he captured 4 Lumpini world titles.
Now, if you don't know what it means to be a 4-time Lumpini champion, it's like winning Wimbledon 4 times. It's like winning the World Series 4 times. It's like winning the Super Bowl 4 times or the World Cup 4 times.
If he connects on your chin, he could close the show.
Nongo is one of the greatest to ever lace up the Muay Thai gloves, and he's beaten them all. But can he beat Fabio Pinca?
Fabio Pinca, who has a brilliant Muay Thai game. He's also captured multiple world championships in multiple different organizations.
You know, Pinca is still the 147-pound Rajdamnern Stadium champion. And once again, Rajdamnern, Lumpini, the 2 biggest championships you can win in Muay Thai. So here, you've literally got a Lumpini megastar versus a Rajdamnern megastar. That is something sensational. That's something you don't see every day, but that's something we're going to see here at One Championship Super Series.
On a 4-bout win streak, Emilio Urrutia has hopes of extending his winning run and move a step closer to a shot at the 1 featherweight world title when he faces Murat Gafurov. The American made a big statement to the rest of the division in his last bout when he dismantled Bruno Pucci with powerful striking.
We are set for 3 rounds of action, though both athletes say it will not go that far. The look of intensity on Emilio Urrutia. He could make Coffee nervous. Here we go, first round of action. Big height advantage going the way of Pucci. Can he use his reach here?
These are the low kicks. That's what Urrutia said he wants to do. He wants to go after the lead leg of Bruno Pucci to eliminate that. Oh, he tested the chin right there. Caught him with a straight right.
Urrutia said there'll be no feeling out process. And already aiming towards that jawline of Bruno Pucci. Pucci's got to use that long, sticky jab of his, Mitch.
Yeah, we gave Bruno Pucci the grappling advantage, but the striking is going to get really intriguing between these two. Who can get off first? Who can utilize that head movement and throw out those punches?
Beautiful tagging left hand there from Urrutia on the front foot. And Pucci circles into the right hand. Doesn't want to be going that way. That's the power hand of the Honey Badger. High right roundhouse from the Brazilian.
Bruno, he's coming in, he's getting tagged by Urrutia. He's got to move that head, utilize some lateral movement. Urrutia's catching him in some wild exchanges here.
They clinch up for the first time. Urrutia's left hand's been doing damage in the striking so far. He's got an overhook on the right arm of Pucci. He looks for a takedown. What a start.
You can see Urrutia just shrugging him off with that whizzer on that left side. He's pushing him away, creating a little bit of space. This first clinch is going to tell us a lot about the grappling capability. Is Bruno Pucci able to control him? But Urrutia was able to throw him off. Look for that big right hand to come again, Michael.
Will it go back to the left to set up that big tub-thumping right hand? Pucci's got to start to get his jab off, and he threads a nice hook there. Does the Brazilian. Urrutia backs him up. There's the left, the old 1-2. Beautiful smack bang with the kisser with the right hand. And Pucci does a quick count of his teeth.
I'd like to see Urrutia go back to that low kick. That was working for him. He's getting a little bit anxious going after the head. But Pucci, because he landed with those early strikes.
There was the jab from Pucci, goes a roundhouse kick, lead leg, no switch up to the rib cage. Threads the jab again, does Pucci. A little more flat-footed of the two here as Bruno Pucci. Jab two from Urrutia, backs up the Brazilian.
Urrutia is leaving his head up when he's coming in, though, so Bruno's able to counter-punch him. As long as he keeps moving back, keeps that head movement.
Shoots in for a takedown. Nice evasion there from Emilio Urrutia. Do you think Pucci is feeling that pressure of Urrutia constantly coming forward on him here, Mitch?
You know, Bruno Pucci's been the victim of 2 big knockouts. He's got to be very careful. He might be a little gun-shy when it comes to rushing in. When he sees Urrutia starting to pressure him, he kind of fades back a little bit. He's got to be careful. There's another one. Big right hand that connected.
Left hook, right hand, 2-punch combination. Oh, right hand again, he tags him. The legs buckled on Pucci. Here comes Urrutia. He tags him again. Huge shots taken from Pucci.
The chin's holding up. Pucci's got to do something. He's got to move.
He's in all sorts of bother. Bruno Pucci may be ripe for the picking.
Look how patient Urrutia is. He's not pulling the trigger too soon. He's calculating. Oh, Bruno Pucci's on rubber legs right now.
Bruno Pucci taking more knocks than a front door here in the first round. And Urrutia sizes him up, drills another right hand to the jaw. You can see the rubber legs, the jelly legs now on Bruno Pucci.
Pucci's getting lit up. He's got to create some movement, going for the takedown. Oh, he's out!
Kabosh! It's good night!
Pucci made the biggest mistake of not moving and exchanging with this guy. The first time he got tagged 2 or 3 times, he should have started working against the cage, closing the space, and make sure you got him to the ground.
For your winner, by way of knockout, Emilio Urrutia!
The Honey Badger Emilio Urrutia puts himself in the running for the GoDaddy knockout of the night.
We are in Manila, Philippines on the 20th of April with Heroes of Honor. In the main event, knockout artist Kevin Bilingon from the Philippines takes on American grappling expert Andrew Leone. And 2-time K1 World Max World Champion Giorgio Petrosian faces off against 2-division Lion Fight World Champion Joe Nadawat in a kickboxing battle of the highest level. And May is going to be a blockbuster month of martial arts. Headlining in Jakarta, 1 strawweight world champion Alex Silva defends his title against the man he took the belt from, Yoshitaka Naito. Then, Singapore will be the scene of 3 epic championship bouts on the 18th of May. In the main event, 1 women's atomweight world champion Angela Lee defends her belt against Japanese veteran Mei Yamaguchi. If you like what you see, make sure you hit the big red subscribe button below. You've been watching One Championship Weekly.